transfer is here, Miss Layton. The Pankot train is due to leave in an hour.
Ida, what is that carriage over there?
Oh, that is private. It belongs to a Maharaja. I do not know which. There are so many.
Thank you. Ida, Tyro. Count Bronowski. Sarah Layton.
Oh, Miss Layton, forgive me. Why didn't I recognize you? Ah, it's the uniform. Nawab Saab and I was so distressed to hear of Captain Bingham's death.
Oh, it was kind of you to write. Have you been staying in Ranpur?
No, not staying.
I've just got in from Calcutta.
And that train is going to Pankot?
Yes, at midnight. I'm going home.
And you are alone? My dear Miss Layton, you must join me in a glass of champagne.
Oh, well.
I am inviting you. It's an occasion. On behalf of Nawab Saab, who is not here, by the way, I invite you to more compatible surroundings. We are traveling, how shall I put it, on some private but official business. With young Kassim. You remember Ahmed? And someone I think you haven't met. Allow me to introduce Captain Rowan, Miss Sarah Layton. Nawab Saab and I had the pleasure of her company at the palace guest house on the occasion of her sister's marriage.
How do you do?
Please. Steward, champagne. We were going to wait for Ahmed, but only as a puritanical exercise in self-discipline. Oh, do you smoke?
Thank you.
I myself smoke too many, but these are mild. Here you go. How are your mother and sister? They're both well, I hope.
Yes, both well.
And the officer who was best man at your sister's wedding, Captain Merrick. Have you had news of him?
Actually, it was to visit him in hospital that I went to Calcutta.
Really? Thank you, Stuart. But why, what is wrong?
He was badly wounded helping Captain Bingham at the time he was killed. My sister was anxious for someone to visit him, and she couldn't go herself. I'm afraid he's lost an arm.
He had physical courage. One could see that. But I'm sorry to hear he was wounded. Which arm?
The left.
Ah, that is something. I observed him picking up some bits of confetti. He was right-handed. You may remember the officer we're speaking of. Merrick.
No, I don't think so.
He went into the army from the Indian police and featured in the Manners case in Mayapur in 1942. An English girl.
Oh, yes, yes, that case.
In Mirat, I had an interesting talk to him. Are those boys still in prison?
Which boys are those?
The ones he arrested.
I'm afraid I don't know, Count.
I hope they're not forgotten and just left to rot. The Indians remember, especially one who visited Mirat last year.
I'm sure, Count, that they are not just forgotten.
Oh, forgive me, it is an uncheerful subject, and Miss Layton should be entertained. Now, you will join us in the meal. You have some time yet.
Oh, how very kind. I was going to the station restaurant.
Oh, we can do better than that. And we shall not now wait for Ahmed, who in any case would probably be interested only in the champagne. But a dear boy. Oh, he'll be sorry to have missed you. He affects not to be susceptible to the charms of white ladies, but in your case I suspect this is not wholly true. You remember how you rode together on the waste ground opposite my house?
Yes.
I'm confessing, aren't I, that I observed you, but not intentionally. After you had gone, I observed how on many mornings he rode there again, and each time retraced exactly the course you had taken together. Cantering along the same stretch, stopping in the same place, wheeling his horse. But don't misinterpret. Ahmed remains an observer. detached, because he doesn't see where he fits in. I remember his father once wrote to him from prison. You know his father, ex-Chief Minister Kassim, is still in prison. He wrote, "We are looking for a country, but it is here. And so am I. Now, why shouldn't we stop squabbling over it and start living in it? What does it really matter who runs it, Hindu or Muslim, or whose face is dark and whose is white?"
Yes, what does it matter?
Goodbye, Miss Layton. But he'll be sorry to have missed you. How self-contained you are. I don't remember that. Perhaps Ahmed noticed it. Something maybe you have in common, both wondering whether you belong. And to what? Dear boy, you look very smart.
What time is it?
It's a little after 4. With you in Bremenaga?
Is Captain Rowan up?
I hope so. He was woken at the same time as you. I have kept watch, indulging some of my favorite vices. Wakefulness, Pushkin, and an unfinished bottle. There's a glass for you. Or would you prefer something stronger? Steward, bring Kassim Saab a large scotch and soda. Or no soda. No soda. Here. I have a garlic for you. Chew it before you reach the circuit house, in case your father detects the whiskey. But do not get too close to Captain Rowan. He would be too polite to turn his head away. No doubt His Excellency entrusted him with this business for his discretion. But I noticed, though he feigned indifference, his interest when Miss Layton was telling me how Captain Merrick had lost an arm. In due course, he will inform the governor. Bravery in the field, and an amputated arm, what luck. Now the arrested boys may go free. The files are closed, and Mr. Merrick's future is assured. No scandal. Le diable est mort. You understand?
No, it's too early in the morning.
Oh, and too late. We are here. Courage, mon ami.
Thanks.
They're here, I think. Don't you wish to speak to the divisional commissioner?
Not just now. Unless it's essential.
Very well.
Ahmed? Ahmed, is that you?
Yes, Father.
Your mother? What news of your mother?
She's well. You can see her soon.
They let the Mahatma out, but his poor Kasturba is dead.
No. But it's something like that.
And God is good to me. You are taller. How long has it been?
Almost 3 years.
You dwarf me. You quite dwarf me. They told me nothing until 5 o'clock yesterday. Am I free or on my way to another jail?
You're free.
On what conditions?
To go to our kinsman, the Nawab of Meerut. Mother will join you there. You will be under the Nawab's protection.
I see. I am the only congressman to be paroled?
Yes, Father, as far as I know.
Why?
Because of my brother.
Sayyid? He has died in prison camp?
No, Father, he was captured.
By the Japanese, I know.
Recently, in Manipur, Mother had a letter. Syed joined the INA.
The INA?
The Indian National Army, to fight alongside the Japanese.
I know what the initials stand for. Sayyid? The INA. Oh, this is a ridiculous mistake. He would not be helping the Japanese to invade his own country?
Thousands of Indian prisoners in Malaya and Burma did the same thing. They felt they had been deserted by their British officers.
You are speaking up for them? Calling your brother a traitor?
Am I? Don't you remember it was Gandhi who called on us to do or die against the British? The situation is changing. The young men who grabbed rifles and marched may look more heroic than the old men who went to prison.
He was a king's commissioned officer. He made a contract. All of our Muslim law is based on the sanctity of contract. We must suffer, die for it. It is in our hearts. What are you telling me, that it is not in Sayyid's? That he is an opportunist without any thought of his honor or yours or mine? Are you telling me this is the kind of India I have gone to prison for? If you are, you had better leave me here. I do not know that kind of India. I do not know such men. Sayyid is not my son. Let me go back to prison.
You can't go back, Father. They won't let you. The plain fact is they are chucking you out of the fort.
We shall see. Let them forcibly take me to Meerut, but then let them stop me from returning to my home, to Ranpur, and to politics.
They won't arrest you. It would suit the British very well to have you say what you've just said to me. They only arrested you last time because you were loyal to Congress. You refused to join the Muslim League. But when a man is suddenly released from political detention and there's nothing to explain it, his friends will ask why.
There is always the truth.
No, Father. There is only what can be believed. Can you still call Syed a traitor? You might as well write your letter of resignation to Congress now and apply to Jinnah for membership of the League. Not that Jinnah would touch you with a barge pole if you tried that line with him. He will call Syed a patriot too if he values his career as a future minister. There are hundreds of officers and thousands of men. The British can't hang them all.
Who have you been talking to? The Nawab? Or that European pederast Bronowski?
I've talked to them, but not about this.
No? Then you are shrewd. I underestimated you. Since one of my sons turns out to be a traitor, it is a compensation to realize that the other one is not as stupid as I thought. I'm sorry. You did not deserve this. Forgive me. In prison, you forget that circumstances change. Sayyid is wrong. But this time, I must be silent. Thank you for having saved me from making a useless gesture.
Then you accept the terms. Shall I tell them you're ready?
Unfortunately, I have only one life to live, and only one notion of what makes it worth living. Always to speak the truth. It isn't easy to write that notion off as a mistake.
I know.
Do you? You are too young. It was Sayyid. Always it was Sayyid that I trusted. And you? Why are you waiting? Tell the officers I'm ready.
The Congress cap. They pretend to laugh, but they're afraid of it, really. If they see it lying on the table, they might come to the wrong conclusion.
No. Straight. and firm, like a crown of thorns.
The first sight of India after years of war, and no words can express what they felt. The Commander-in-Chief's message said what we feel: what you've done will long be remembered. Let's remember it now. Eritrea, Syria, Tunisia, Italy. It's all summed up in the words, the famous fourth. 8 for the 8th Army, another famous number. And these men helped to make it so. Just before they landed, several awards for gallantry were announced. But this was the best reward of all, to be home again.
I'm going up to see Susan now. Aren't you coming?
You know she won't even look at the baby. Frankly, I've had enough. Tell her I'll come tonight.
I'll say you're resting.
It's room 9.
There's a lovely boy. Mrs. Bingham, your sister's here.
Hello, Sue. Sorry I wasn't at the time. Will you see him now?
Is it whole? Is it?
Mrs. Bingham, of course it's whole. He's a lovely boy. 2 of everything. Well, everything he should have. And look how well your sister holds him. Don't you want to hold him now?
Come on, Sue. Think how proud Daddy will be. He might be home for Christmas. That's what they say now.
How lovely. Anyway, for us. It's a bit unfair for him. He'll want peace and quiet, and all he'll get is a screaming baby.
He won't mind, because he's a grandson. What will you call him?
I don't know. A name's so important. How can I choose that on my own?
Not on your own. There's me and Mummy, too. She's resting now, but she'll look in soon. You're not alone.
Thank you, Clarissa. Oh, another case full. Shoes. I must confess, I'm fond of my shoes. Though I think there's little left to bring from Rose Cottage now. Is anything wrong, Clarissa? The amount of luggage? It is a bit more than I thought.
No, Barbara, it's not the luggage. Though if there's anything more than another caseful to come, I think you'll have to ask for storage at Jalaluddin's.
Oh, but I shouldn't want my things to moulder in a storehouse.
Arthur and I place little value on possessions. Our strength is in the love of God. We'll say no more about the luggage. There's something I have to ask. I was at the club this afternoon.
Yes?
Not alone. With others. People I respect, but whom I shall not name. It was said, well, what a pity it was you couldn't remain at Rose Cottage for a while to help Mildred because of Susan and the baby.
I don't think it's a suggestion that Mildred would approve.
May I ask why?
Yes, Clarissa. Since I accept your hospitality, though as a paying guest, of course, Mildred does not approve of me or what she terms my interference. So, what was said at the club?
It was accepted that the idea might be impractical. But there was something more. It was suggested it would be unsuitable. Especially unsuitable with two pretty young girls in the house. And I simply could not believe. Well, the moment had gone before I fully understood exactly what had been said. To refute it. I do not propose, Barbara, to refer to this again. Inside or outside this house. But I require, for my own peace of mind, I require from you some word.
Some word? What word, Clarissa?
A word of refutation. Of assurance that there are no grounds at all for such a wicked implication.
I see. Naturally, you require to be reassured. Now, what can I say? If it were true, I should probably deny it. I've nowhere else to go. It's a difficult thing for an elderly spinster to refute. But for what it's worth, Clarissa, as far as I know, my affection for Sarah and Susan is not of an unnatural kind, unless it is unnatural to take pleasure in their company and to care what happens to them. And now I must put these roses on Mabel's grave.
Such a wicked thing to say.
Am I expected tomorrow, as arranged? Thank you, Clarissa. Face it alone. And without God. Mabel, I'm going now. Thank you.
Mem Sahib, you want 5 flowers. Mem Sahib, you want 5 flowers.
Very possible, hi.
I take your bag rickshaw wala.
It's Ashok, isn't it? You carry my parcel in the bazaar. Why aren't you in the bazaar today? Kia tum bazaar konehi jata.
Oh, bazaar chokka no good. He said, bajao, bajao.
The other boys threaten you? Perhaps they're jealous. Too many bakshish for you. It's empty. You're not a Pankot boy. Tum nehi Pankot? Tum kahan se aihu?
I come Ranpur.
Huh? Stranger. An outcast. Well, that gives us something in common. Not many bakshish for you in the churchyard, simply a place of refuge. Tum abi ida rataho sanjonka gajako?
I go tomorrow.
You go tomorrow? Ashok, did you see a lady come out of the church just now before me? A burra mem in a topi? No, doesn't matter. The important thing is, she seemed to be there. She appeared to me. I'm going to sit down here and take a little breather. A halkana. Baito. Where do you go tomorrow, Ashok?
I go to Maharaja.
You serve a Maharaja? Where?
Many Maharaja. Many atiyas. I go ride elephant for Maharaja.
There are certainly no elephants in Pankot. So you'll have to go if you want to be a Mahout. If you were an English boy, you'd want to be an engine driver. Tumrail, gari chalana, pasan karogi?
If no elephant, ma'am, sir.
Do you know what those flowers here are for?
For puja.
No. I bring them for my friend.
I am your friend, ma'am, sir.
Yes. I mean my other friend.
He come from Pankot.
From Pankot? Yes.
He's my friend too.
She is. Yes. But you won't see her. Like the friend who loves us both. You remember the song I tried to teach you? About our friend? There's a friend for little children. There's a friend for little children.
Bright blue sky with love for
Oh, my little untouchable. My Harijan, one of the children of God. Now tell me, Ashok, what am I? Whom kya hai?
A British, ma'am, sir.
No. I am a servant of our Lord Jesus. He is our mother and our father, Ma Bap. You don't understand. It's too long ago and far away. The world we live in is corrupt. I offer you my love and you take it as fortune smiling. But your heart is beating in expectation of rupees. Mine hardly beats at all. It's very tired and old and far from home. Ashok. Chalo. You take my case and find a rickshaw wala. Jaldi.
Oh,
My little unknown Indian.
Mem sahab, Sarah mem.
Hello, Barbie. I must look aside. I'm clearing up, trying to create some sort of order. It's quite a task.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there anything I can help with?
We'll have some tea.
Unless you're in a hurry.
Oh, I should love some tea.
Aziz has probably anticipated tea outside. Have you not, Aziz?
हाँ भाभी मैम, tea.
Thank you, Aziz. My last day at Rose Cottage. I shall be out of here after breakfast tomorrow. Aziz will be ready to go too. He'll wait behind to hand over the keys to Captain Coley.
Yes, I see. I'll tell Mother.
Will you pour?
Susan's home again, with the baby.
She's well?
They both are. Mother's brought in an ayah to help look after him. She's our houseboy's niece. Only a child herself. Her name's Minnie. Susan's giving the baby all Teddy's names. So he'll be Edward Arthur David Bingham.
And shall you be happy out here, all of you?
I don't know, Barbie. I don't know at all.
You wanted once to get away.
Yes, I did. Perhaps in a way I have. What about you?
Oh, I shall be all right. I've written to the mission. No doubt they'll have something for me. Something to do. Clarissa told me your news about poor Captain Merrick.
Yes, it's sad. I forgot to tell you. He talked a bit about Miss Crane.
Edwina? What did he say?
He told me about going to her bungalow after her death and finding that picture of Queen Victoria, the one you have as well, the jewel in the crown. He seemed to think in some way it was to do with Teddy's death, the kinship between sepoys and officers. He used a phrase, I am your mother and your father.
Mother. Mother and father. The relationship between us and India. What else?
And death by fire. The way that Teddy died, and the way Miss Crane killed herself. Was that to do with Mabab too?
No.
What was it?
Despair.
Yes, that fits. It reminded me of something, too. The scorpion.
The scorpion?
Years ago, when Susan and I were children. We had another houseboy then. He was always telling us stories. He told us a scorpion would kill itself if it was cornered and there was no way out. I don't think we really believed him. Till one day, Susan and I were in the garden. He called us over. He had a little pot of something and poured it in a circle on the ground and set it alight. We saw the scorpion strike and kill itself. Well, that's how it seemed. In a ring of fire. Years later, Auntie Mabel told me that it wasn't true, that it's the fire that kills. But it always seemed to me a brave thing to do, if there was no way out. I am sorry, Barbie, about Auntie Mabel, that I wasn't here. I don't suppose you've heard yet. She remembered you in her will.
What?
Only a small annuity to help with the pension. You'll get a letter soon from the bank in Ranpur.
Oh, she shouldn't have.
Why not?
Well, it's taking it away from the rest of you. I didn't expect. Very kind. Very kind.
Oh, Barbie, don't.
I have no problems. Except what I think you call nowadays a problem in logistics. My little room at Clarissa's, it has its limitations, and I have my trunk. I had thought of leaving it here in the garden shed until I could send for it. But if I were to ask permission of your mother, it would certainly be refused. Would Honor be satisfied, do you think, if I were to ask it of you?
I should think so.
It only contains bits of my past, my years in India, my shadow, as you might say. I'll tell the Marley to keep an eye on it, so there'll be a minimum of fuss.
And I can come and visit you at Clarissa's.
It might be better if you didn't. My room is very small for entertaining guests, and I don't want to push my luck, as the saying is. Not for a while, at least. Not for a while.
Captain Merrick.
Get out! God rot this stinking piece of tin!
Oh. Did you ring, sir?
This damn thing doesn't fit. I told those idiots in Pune! What the hell do you want?
Well, I was hoping for a bit of peace and quiet, sir. But if this goes on, I shall ask to be put back on active service. Better be raped by little yellow ones in Burma. Picking bits of glass out of me perm.
Get out, Dixon. I'm not amused by your song and dance act.
I'll get a sweeper.
I said, get out!
One ashtray. Officers for the use of. Sister's not going to like this at all. Got a fearful temper, that one. Frightens the life out of us ladies when she's roused. If you'll excuse me, sir.
Yes, Corporal.
Maybe you've tried to do too much, sir. Too soon after. You ought to get out of doors. After all, that's what they sent you out to Pankot for, sir. The fresh air of the hills.
I don't suppose it's occurred to you, Corporal, that I might not choose to exhibit myself in public yet. Has such an unlikely idea occurred to you?
Well, sir. There now. Almost forgot why I came. A letter for you, Captain Merrick. Been all round the houses too. From Pankot, down at the hospital in Cal, and forwarded all the way back here again. Shall I?
Yes, all right.
Oh, it's from a corporal. Corporal S. somebody. Now, could it be Sandra, or could it be Sophie like me? Nah. Some other bird.
Miss Layton. Get out, Dixon.
Very good, sir.
Dear Ronald, excuse the army issue. Susan asked me to let you know that she has a baby son, and both seem to be doing well. We are not sure when the christening will be, and Susan has not chosen his name yet.
Well, I said to Sister, wasn't that careless of me? Might have done myself a serious injury. Mind you, not so nasty as my first accident this morning. You all right, sir?
Yes, of course.
Who do I bump into but our senior surgeon? Me with a bedpan in me hand. Well, she was drenched, and me flat on me bum and all. Is that Corporal Dixon, she says to Matron. Yes, says Matron. So the surgeon says, well, it was not entirely his fault, so we won't hold it against him. Well, as to that, I think, chance would be a fine thing. Are we ready, sir?
Just get on.
You know the idea, sir. Toughen up the bits that aren't too tender, if yours truly can avoid the bits that are. Mind you, it's a lovely stump, and I've seen one or two, sir. Someone in Calcutta's very proud of this. Oh, my name's not Sophie Dixon. Sorry, sir.
In point of fact, Corporal Dixon, I've been finding out quite a bit about you.
There is some fearful gossip, sir. You shouldn't pay attention.
I've been hearing about your active service record in the Arakan. According to my informant, you were the one who kept on joking, risking your neck to bring in the wounded under fire. They should have given Sophie Dixon the MM. That's what I've been told.
Oh, that would never do, sir. And where would they pin it? Cheeky things.
So what I'm wondering, Dixon, is how all this adds up.
Still getting a bit of pain here, are we, sir? Pity you're not staying with us a little longer. I know a thing or two about this job. Very good with my hands, sir. Massage, manipulation, helps you relax.
So what's the truth, Dixon? Are you a hero? Or a bloody pansy?
I don't think, Captain Merrick, that's the kind of question we ought to ask ourselves. Do you, sir? I remember what our dear Winnie Churchill told us. Give us the tools, she said, and we'll finish the job.
Almighty God, who art a strong tower of defence unto thy servants against the face of their enemies, we yield thee praise and thanksgiving for our deliverance from those great and apparent dangers wherewith we were compassed, and especially today for our deliverance from the Japanese and their expulsion from the soil of India. We acknowledge it, thy goodness.
Aren't we going home?
No, I think we're going for a drink at the club.
Well, I don't want to be too long. Dickie! Have you got the roses? I brought them for Auntie Mabel's grave because I missed the funeral.
How very thoughtful. Who's looking after little Teddy?
The Ayah. She's quite capable of seeing the brat comes to no harm. Are you coming on to the club?
Madras curry.
It's Minnie's first time in charge, so we shan't stay for lunch.
And I'm calling him Edward, not Terry. I hate diminutives for men. Let's take the flowers.
Susan all right?
Susan's fine.
Goodbye, Sarah.
Well, I hope you've all got your bibs and tuckers ironed for the christening tomorrow.
Well, I've treated myself to a new dress, but we're not going to get all starchy about it, are we?
Far from it. I'm afraid the party afterwards will be very informal. We're surrounded by packing cases at the moment.
When do you move to Rose Cottage?
Oh, 900 hours on Tuesday. Now that woman is finally out. I've got it all worked out. The little spare will make an excellent nursery. Edward's even more effective than a bugle for getting us out. All on parade at 6 a.m. prompt, isn't it, Sue?
Most children wake at 6. I did.
But then you're army.
Yes.
Relax, darling. You simply must learn to trust Minnie and stop thinking about next feed time. Are you cold?
No.
I thought you shivered. I hope you're not sickening for anything.
No, I'm relaxing.
How's your dog taken to the baby, Mrs. Layton? Sometimes they're jealous.
Oh, Panther's taken quite a shy to him. You ain't like giving it a peep. Well, that was clumsy of you, wasn't it?
Baron, tutu hoa shisha, jaldi se hatado.
Do you want a mop?
You'll have to change when you get home. Aren't you madly uncomfortable?
No, Mother.
Well, go to the cloakroom and use a towel. Then you can come back and have another nimbu.
I don't want another nimbu.
Well, go and dry off.
Do you want any help?
No, it's all right.
Do you think I ought to run her home?
My dear boy, finish your drink in peace. It's only a broken glass.
It's all right, I'm here now.
Mahmood, हमने हुक्म दिया पैंथर को मारने ले जाओ जाओ जाओ
Don't want Panther, silly dog. Getting fat. Don't want Minnie, silly girl. Can't understand. Do you know what this is? Auntie Mabel's christening gown. She gave it to me. See? Butterflies. Caught in a web. Poor prisoners. Poor prisoners. We'll set them free. Prisoner. Go free. Go free. Go free.